Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin, Thru, and joining me today, he completely endorses Dodger fans throwing stuff at the San Diego Padres, and it's obscene and horrible, and he should be ashamed of himself. It's Justin Hausman!
I mean...
Don't defend him.
It's really easy to hate Tatis Jr. and Jurickson Profar. I'll just say that. It's very easy to hate them.
All right, so later on, we're going to be going through some interesting headlines come out of the outdoor community. But before we get to that, we got a few housekeeping items for you and programming reminders. So, we ask you all the time, guys, but you know what? It works because you guys are really responding to us asking you to do this. So I'm going to continue to ask. Please follow and rate The Rock Fight wherever you're listening on any podcast app. It really helps the show grow. Getting those subscribers and followers is a big deal, and getting that 5-star rating, equally a big deal. And you should really be listening also to Gear and Beer, our other podcast here on the Rock Fight Podcast Network. Last week, we did an episode with Shantae Salabert. Got a lot of really good feedback on that one. Talk about her favorite backpacking items. A lot of poop talk. So if you're into poop talk, it's a kind of a good podcast to listen to.
My toddler loved that episode.
And now, Justin... If people want to reach out to us after they listen to all this amazing content we're making for them, what should they do?
Well, they should email us at myrockfight@gmail.com. And also, head over to Instagram, follow us there at RockFightCo. And sign up for our newsletter on our website, rockfight.co. You just click right there on join the mailing list. It's a big, bright, shiny button. You can't possibly miss it. And then that means that once a week you get Colin's bon mots. Bon mots? How do you say that, Colin?
I don't even know what you're trying to say. Is this French?
Yeah, you don't know. You don't. I guess it's a little. Well, you're older than me. It's an old school thing, like thoughts, basically. Colin's like weekly sort of thoughts. Those little bon mots. It's like I think it means like a little bit, like little treats.
Well, since we started the show talking about sports, I thought we'd have a little draft today, and I think you and I should draft a roster. Each have a team at the end of what we deem to be. I don't know if it's the best outdoor sports draft or our favorite outdoor sports. I guess we'll decide as we're going here. But we're gonna go back and forth, and we're gonna draft from the categories of snow, wheeled, water, trail, camping, climbing, and then wild card. And wild card can really be anything. And so we each have to pick one activity in each of those categories, and then we'll see what we have at the end, and then our listeners can vote on who has the best roster of the best outdoor sports teams.
Colin, there's only 7 categories here.
Yeah.
So one of us is going to have 4, one of us is going to have 3.
Why? We're each going to take 2. We each get 1 in each category.
Oh, in each category.
Yeah, you have to draft from each one. So if you take if you take skiing, I can't take skiing now.
I'm
sorry.
That's what we're
gonna do. Yeah.
I am understood. And where's Christian McCaffrey on this list? Just Justin Jefferson on here.
Spin the wheel. I gotta do a little wind spiel thing, spin here thing, so we can determine who drafts.
I was going to ask, how are we going to do this? So listeners are going to determine who's best roster by voting on Instagram. This based on things they like to do, or is this like let's give me some parameters for like in theory of a victorious team.
Yeah, I guess it'd be like what I'm going to draft, which I think are probably the sports that people. Actually, I don't know. Am I going to vote on? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote based off of what I think people would be deemed to be the best mix of these activities.
Like if you were doing all these things, this would be the most fun.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So you made a little wheel, like you took the wheel out of like Candyland, and you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still playing Candyland like once a week, Colin. You were so big into that.
So I guys go back from my Candyland draft. That's why we're
just moderating those Reddit forums.
Okay, so I got a little wheel of fortune there.
Oh, it's on your phone. Okay. It's you.
No, you get first pick.
Oh, wow. Just eked in there. Okay.
So, and you can pick, you don't have to go in the order I have it in. You can pick whatever category you want to pick first.
Okay, so I guess I'll go water. Well, I was going to, surfing. I mean, I'm going surfing.
Damn it.
It's the coolest one.
I had a whole plan.
Well, you fucked it up. You should have won this. You should have won this. You should have gone first, Colin. That wheel that you spun on your phone. I don't know if you saw, but there was a little like a little asterisk at the bottom. So it actually bases that on handsomeness of the people looking at the screen.
It saw you. It's like, oh my god. Well, that guy obviously.
Yeah, that guy goes first.
All right. Well, now I've got to rethink everything here.
This is like the real NFL war room. It's a big deal.
Despite what I was gonna do, I will go wheeled.
Okay.
And I will take mountain biking.
All right. All right.
I had a real crazy one there just to kind of like spice up my list, but now I feel like I feel like I need that sort of anchor. Like, look, everybody mountain bikes. You could go gravel if you want, but I think I'm going mountain biking.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go. Gosh, is this boring? You know what? Okay. All right. I'm gonna go like out of crazy left field. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Wild card.
Oh, I was gonna. God, you're good at this already. I'm nervous now. Go ahead.
Base jumping.
Oh, did not see that coming.
That's why it's a wild card. I'm going for the Point Break enthusiast roster.
Yeah, right. But here's the thing. Like, so, this by taking a wild card early, that allows me to kind of slot in here and just continue to,
That's true. That's okay. I got excited.
And in camping, I'm going to take backpacking.
You put that as okay. Interesting. I was sure. I was curious if that was going to be trail or camping. Okay, that's what I was going to pick. That's why I was like, is this boring? But
yeah, my goal was to get backpacking and surfing and have you
get
be
all
really
my
sad
fun
about
things,
it.
all the things I like to do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Wheeled, and this is obvious.
Yep.
This is obvious. What do you think I'm going to pick?
I would assume gravel.
No. Well, okay.
Inline skating.
No. Overlanding.
Not inline skate. One wheel.
Overlanding.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Really
Or
good.
just off-roading in general. But I guess overlanding is going to take that.
All right. In trail, I'm going to take trail running.
Nobody likes trail running, so that's perfect. I mean, does skiing count as just one thing? Skiing?
Yeah, you could do. Well, that could be your snow pick.
Well, that's what I mean. But like, that's like so. I mean, surfing is just surfing. I mean, big wave surfing, I guess, is part of it. But like skiing, it's like,
right.
I mean, do I have to pick an aspect of skiing? Because I want to pick skiing.
Well, there's a lot of different snow sports, so it could be anything done on snow.
All right, well, ski.
All right, Justin takes skiing. Any particular form of skiing?
That's what I'm just asking you about. Like, do I need to have a clarifier? If so, I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
if so, I'm gonna
do.
straight up say just resort skiing because I don't think most people want to go back.
Playing to the fans, basically. Yeah. All right. I'll go in water and I'll take sea kayaking.
Ooh.
Yeah. I still like sea kayaking. I still would like to get another sea kayak. It's been too long.
Okay. I still need.
You need climbing. We both need climbing.
Camping and trail. All right.
Yep.
Okay. I've already regret my wild card choice. I guess I'll do climbing, and I'm just gonna go full on mountaineering.
Oh, okay. Damn it! It's like alpinism.
Yeah, alpinism. Thank you.
That's what I was gonna do for snow.
Well,
damn it! I'll stay in climbing. Then I'll take bouldering because I was gonna do bouldering anyway.
Okay, and then I'll do orienteering for trail.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Even though that's probably more of an off-trail activity, I'm gonna consider, or fuck it. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take it back. Can I take it back?
Yeah, sure.
Just
go ahead.
straight up hiking.
Hiking.
Just regular old hiking.
Got to appeal to the masses there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm missing snow and wild card. You've got to be missing at least one more thing.
Climbing.
No, you did alpinism.
Camping.
That's it. Yep. All right. So I have two left. I have wild card and snow. For snow, I'll go back. I'll do backcountry skiing. That way we can pit backcountry skiing against resort skiing. And then you have camping.
I think it's got to be wood splitting.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
Splitting wood with an axe.
But that's a form of camping?
Sure. You got to make a fire. What else is it gonna? What else can you?
Oh, I was thinking more like car camping. Glamping.
Those are sports.
Sleeping. Well, it's an activity. It's not.
Okay. All right.
Wood splitting's good though.
Yeah. I already said overlanding, which kind of counts as car camping.
You did. That's really good. That's a good one for wheeled.
Cowboy camping count as its own kind of camping. All right, fuck it. You know what? I'll just do that. Actually, no. I want to do horse packing.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm reading. Have we talked about this yet? I'm reading the Pony Express book.
Oh, that's a great book,
dude. It's great. It's so good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
Will, he was on the show last year. Will.
That's right. Really good
Grant,
book.
Yeah.
Really good book.
Yeah, he's in like Kazakhstan doing some crazy thing now or something.
Is he doing the headless goat?
Yeah, that weird sport they all do on horses over there. Yeah.
Wild.
All right, for my last pick for wild card, I'm going to do skimboarding.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
All right, so here's our roster for the outdoor draft picks. We got, all right, so for water, you have surfing, wheeled, overlanding. Wild card, you have base jumping. For trail, hiking, camping, horse packing. and snow, resort skiing, and climbing alpinism.
I really should have picked fly fishing for wild card. That was stupid.
Oh,
Base jumping just seemed cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
I'm
never going to do it, but it seems cool.
For mine, in water, I have sea kayaking and wheeled. I have mountain biking, wild card. I did skimboarding, trail running, camping, backpacking. My snow sport was backcountry skiing. And for climbing, I did bouldering. So we'll put that up on Instagram and LinkedIn, and people can vote who has the best roster of outdoor sports. That was fun. We got to do more stuff like that.
I love that. They're both pretty solid. Both teams are pretty solid.
It was a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good. This is going to lead up to us doing our outdoor town draft. We'll bring a few other people on here to do that with us. That'll be good.
Love it.
All right, so before we get into some headlines, we're going to use the time that we typically talk about our friends at Darby Communications to check in on Hurricane Helene relief efforts. Darby is open for business and ready to help with all of our PR needs, but as an Asheville, North Carolina-based business, like the rest of the Southeast, they are dealing with the impact of this historic storm. They are also, though, soliciting outdoor writers and media folks to reach out to try and tell more stories about what's happening in the Southeast beyond just, like we talked about here in the show last week, what's happening on the AT. There's so much that's going to be impacted from a tourism point of view and from an adventure point of view that they would like to hear from you, or there's other resources out there if you'd like to go a different route. In the show notes of this episode, you're going to find resources for how you can help out, as well as a GoFundMe for Bubba O'Leary's, which is an outdoor specialty shop in Chimney Rock, North Carolina that was destroyed during the storm. So if you have the means, please consider giving a little either to that GoFundMe or from the variety of other support relief efforts that you'll find in those links and that are going to be ongoing for a while. So thanks for your help, and thanks for supporting the folks during this trying time.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
A couple headlines. First one, which I'm very excited to hear what you have to say about this. According to NBC News, the National Forest Service says it will not hire seasonal employees in the next year because of expected cuts to its budget. This news comes as summers are getting hotter and the wildfire season is getting longer. The lack of seasonal hires next year will not affect the agency's ability to respond to wildfires, officials say, but it could affect trail maintenance, fisheries, recreation services, engineering, and surveying. I'm just going to step out now and let Justin speak on this.
So I have been kind of vocal about not paying attention to the news for a while. I don't know if I've been
right there with you
vocal about it on this show or not, but I used to be a news hound in terms of like national news. And I'd be very up to date on whatever gaffe any like presidential candidate had said or done. I'd know exactly what was going on with Israel and Gaza right now. I'd be able to tell you the front lines of the war in Ukraine, all that sort of stuff. And I just stopped because I'm a much happier person for not knowing these sorts of things or even really thinking about it or caring about it. There's nothing I can do. I pay attention to the local weather. I pay attention to like local things that actually impact my life on a daily basis. Point of saying all of that is I am shocked that I didn't know this until today. This seems like a big deal. But when I saw the outline, I looked it up and I was reading into it, and I don't understand enough about how our government really truly works to fathom how this is even like a possible thing. I don't understand why one pot can't draw from another pot. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. But why we just passed some of the like biggest budgets for public land spending like ever. How is this a thing? Like the stock market's killing it. How is this a thing? Like where is the money supposed to come? Where does it normally come from? That it's not. I get it if it's like a massive downturn or like a government shutdown, but like what? Like this just to me is just like major. I mean, who's going to cut the budget for the Forest Service and why? And like why are they cutting it for things like this? It's bizarre.
And this stuff is typically like nonpartisan. Like there's bipartisan support typically for outdoor pursuits, for Forest Service, for national parks, all of those things. It typically is the one topic that sort of bridges the divide in Washington.
I mean, trail maintenance, fisheries, recreation services. I mean, these are like everybody knows how big of a deal the outdoor industry is to like the country's bottom line at this point. What a weird thing to cut. I'd be curious if this trickles over into anything else. Like, is this going to go? Is the National Park Service also struggling? Like, is it just the Forest Service? And like, I just feel like I've never heard anything like this before. I mean, maybe this happens all the time, but I'm blown away. And there goes my plan to be like a backcountry, Forest Service ranger over the winter. What if that
Well,
was?
that was my question. I mean, like typically, aren't there campgrounds and Forest Services, and aren't they like staffed by folks who manage those? Does that include folks like that? I mean, I like I said, I don't know all the
I
details.
don't
It's not in
know
this
if
article.
the Forest Service does the Forest Service manage its own campgrounds? No, of
But
course it does.
beyond,
No,
like,
of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like campground hosts aren't paid typically, but a lot of times these things are like farmed off to concessionaires. So you'll be camping somewhere in like mid Sierra Limited will like come by to pick up the garbage or whatever because they've the feds have farmed it out. So I don't know about that sort of thing, but I mean, if it says it's going to impact like fisheries and trail maintenance and stuff, I mean, those are big. That's a big deal. Like that means trail crews they're not going to be there to help like presumably like dig out after winter storms and stuff like that. So that could mean a lot, depending on where it is. That could mean a lot of like trails that are either inaccessible or just messed up. That it makes it harder to use. Fisheries stuff, who knows how that's going to work? If that means they're like not going to stock, does that mean they're like laying off fish biologists or not hiring? I mean, I don't know what a seasonal fisheries employee does. Probably does. Maybe they do survey stuff for. I mean, this is all speculation. I mean, maybe they do survey stuff to see, the health of fisheries in different places. I don't know, but yeah, this really sucks. I don't really get it, and I want to dig more into it. And maybe we should try to talk to somebody at the Forest Service. See like
it's a good
exactly
idea.
what's going on.
The thing that, to your point about, I don't get it, right? Like if you take another issue, like there's so many issues that we talk about in the news cycle, and I like you tend to not pay as much attention as I used to, where I don't condone what's happening, but I understand it. Like homelessness, for example, right? Like we could probably write a check right now and solve homelessness, but we won't do it because it's good political fodder on both sides, like all that stuff. The most cynical way to look at it, some things never get solved because we won't let them get solved because it's a way for people to keep getting reelected and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand this. Who benefits from? I mean, not even just the wildfire part, like all the other even small, like you point the fisheries. Like how many fisheries are just visited on an annual basis by people like, let's go catch some fish. I'm gonna take my kids go fishing. Like all these kinds of things that like and it just happens. So to just say, no seasonal workers next year, don't have the money, is mind-boggling to me.
I just don't understand. I'm just really curious why the budget's going to shrink.
I might reach out to a few folks that we know, maybe the Outdoor Rec Roundtable, or just even some other people connected there who might be able to refer us to somebody to have on, because this is just it's a large bummer. Even if there's something that makes sense, it's still a bummer.
Well, yeah.
I'm curious to know more.
I mean, it's like we're all stoked because like the infrastructure bill like put a lot of money toward recreation and that sort of stuff. I think they did. I mean, I'm sure they hired a bunch of people. Maybe they hired too many. But it's like, can't we just celebrate a win without it having to be like 2 years later? Like, oh, actually, now it's no seasonal hires, and next year it's actual layoffs of like rangers and stuff.
Maybe we'll just move into a let it burn model. Like, just let it burn.
I mean, honestly, maybe that was just like, you know what? Just give it back. We're just giving it back.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. The next story I had was per Adventure. That's Adventure with no E.
Yeah, they couldn't have two. You can't have two E's in adventure.com apparently.
Right. There is another adventure.com with an E.
Clearly.
So, 2 climbers became stuck while attempting an 11-pitch climb on Mount Whitney here in California in the Sierra and had to wait over 18 hours for a rescue. So the party was 5 hours into their climb, but only 3 pitches up on September 21st when they decided to call for help. They felt they were in over their head. At that time, they had bailed into a couloir and attempted to descend, with one member of the party left dangling at the end of the rope when they called for help after an attempted rappel didn't work out and they couldn't get back up the rope. Search and rescue attempted to talk them through getting down on their own, but they weren't comfortable and they just waited for the rescue. I don't know if this is wrong, but given the happy ending, I'm like, it's kind of awesome. Like, this is a great adventure story. Like, everything's okay. They worked out. They're not hurt. Like, just they're going to like dine on this forever, aren't they?
I mean, what's interesting about something like this is obviously the outcome is good, right? You don't want people dying if you can help it. But it's also crazy to think about how, 20 years ago, they're dead.
Yeah.
Most likely.
No cell phones?
Yeah, like, or not,
or at least one of them is, right?
Yeah, or like no, like, in reach or something to send like an emergency message to somebody.
Yeah.
And you do have to, like, is this one of those, is this one of those situations where, I mean, if it took them 5 hours to get up 3 pitches of an 11-pitch climb, like, are they not technically skilled enough for this? And like, if one of them is, I would assume that like dangling at the end of a rope during a rappel probably doesn't happen very often to like really good, like experienced climbers. So you do kind of wonder if is this one of those situations that people kind of warn about with like such like easy access to search and rescue communication equipment? Like, is it giving people a false sense of security? You know, like you're in a situation to where, like, again, these people would have at least one of them, but probably both would have died, you know, like before the advent of this technology, you know? And so like, is it letting people go in places they probably shouldn't otherwise? They probably, you know, I don't know.
We'd like to learn more here. Yeah, we need to learn a little bit more. I think though, this is one where it seems like it's probably legit. It was a 5-7 climb. So like, relatively speaking, like an easier climb. If you're taking something like this on where you know you're going up 11 pitches, you must have some level of technical proficiency, right? You would assume. I think that the ones that usually get under my skin of what you're talking about are the people who are like, you know, they hike up. They're the ones with like, you know, the spring water bottle or whatever, the plastic bottle, and they're like 2 miles in, like, oh man, this is really hard. Can someone come and get me? You know, and they call for a rescue. You know, maybe they thought they were ready for something like this, and they just weren't. I mean, the only thing in the article that maybe give me pause, like, that probably wasn't a good idea, was they started at like 10 a.m. for an 11 pitch climb.
Okay, see, I've been there. I mean, I don't climb.
But what if we don't even know the ages? If they're like 19, I could totally see them doing that as that, like, we'll be all right. You know, like totally just false confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I also don't even know, like, is it bad to be able to get rescued? Like, it's not. I don't mean to like cast judgment on it. Like, maybe it's kind of awesome to be able to put yourself in positions like, oh, that didn't work, and you just call for help. You know, like maybe I don't know. It's expensive. I know that much. You know, I don't think California makes you pay for this yet. But I remember this happened in like New Hampshire last year. We probably talked about it on the show. Like some teenagers or whatever that like got like lost or panicked and they called for help and people were like, well, you got to pay or whatever, you know. And it's like, I still think the moment from can I get out of this to like hitting the SOS button, like I that has got to be such a heavy thing to do. Like
am I really doing this?
I still think I would probably die because I would be, to me, like pushing the SOS button would be like admitting that I might die. Like, like my brain needs to feel like this is going to be okay. I'm overreacting. Like my brain needs that. And so if I'm like,
especially if you're like in fine physical shape at that moment too. It's not like you have a broken leg or something. You're like, well, I definitely need help. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm like, okay, I'm hopelessly lost or I'm trapped in this cave or whatever it is. And like, if there's hitting SOS is basically admitting that I can't do it, and that means that's like the worst thing in the world to me. Like giving up that kind of control, like mental control, where you're just like, oh shit, well, if I don't push this, I'm gonna die. Like I think I would die of starvation before I push it, because somehow pushing it would confirm that I might die of starvation, if that makes sense. That would be my struggle.
Can you imagine though?
They'd find me like with one hand on the inReach and the other hand like so close to the SOS.
Your finger over the button. I do think of like just, and I cannot relate to this. I've only ever top roped like outside, so I can't. I'm not sure. I've never been in a situation like this, but I have. Like, just even when like I'm rappelling off the top of a indoor climbing wall, and you're like, man, this is really uncomfortable with like the harness around your junk or on your legs or whatever. How numb was this person's legs?
Oh my
18
gosh.
hours hanging in a harness.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like maybe there is some long-term damage there.
I didn't even think about that. God, that would suck.
Just dangling.
God, that would suck. At least it wasn't.
18 hours is a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's been warm lately, so at least it wasn't like a winter climb. How'd they get that? Yeah, it's all. I love that they were able to somehow try and talk them. Like, how do you talk someone out of that situation? Pull up hard, like learn how to climb a rope, like be stronger. Like, what? How are you?
It's almost like an SNL sketch. Like they're like chat, like, listen, just pull up on the rope. I told him to pull up on the rope.
Oh man, it would be kind of fun and chilling to be able to listen to some of these like dispatch things, like I'm fucking scared, like something.
I like to believe that like these things that like the holiday party, they like do the silliest things that happened the past year. Like they can't actually do that, but like, oh yeah, and Bill, I got the call from the person hanging from the rope from 18 hours. Bill, tell us about what happened on that call. Oh yeah.
I love that.
All right, last story we got is according to the Trek.co, a Texas state representative has proposed a new 1,500-mile-long distance trail that runs from the plains in the east of Texas to the rugged terrain in the west and culminating on Mount Guadalupe, the highest point in the state. The trail's visionary also poses the XTX, which is the name for the trail, as a footpath where users not only test their endurance, but also immerse themselves in Texas culture from small towns with rich histories to natural wonders like Big Bend National Park. I think this is cool. They kind of had me with like the small town piece of it. Like, I don't know much about Texas. I visited Texas and we're going to go there probably for like a trade show in a couple of months. But like the idea of like starting sort of in that eastern part where it's probably more humid and like the plains and going the whole way across that massive state, 1,500 miles in one state. That sounds really cool and kind of interesting. So I thought this was an interesting.
I'm a huge fan
story.
of anything like this. I mean, I still think that if I could somehow, not, I don't know how long it would take, but if I could just be like, peace out for like 2 years, right, and not have to do anything, I would walk across the country. Like, I think that would be so free.
Oh, yeah,
I would love that. And so like this kind of thing to me is awesome. I mean, there's I don't know if it has a formal name for it or not, but there's like a trail that theoretically runs like the beach of California, and like
no
half the time you're on a road, and like because it's PCH is like on the cliffs, in a lot of Southern California, and I love the idea of reclaiming like spaces for walking. Like that to me is so rad, and so and like just reconnecting with making a journey that people would have done on foot in the past, I think is really, really cool. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love that Pony Express book so much, is just like the slow pace of I mean, I don't even like hiking and mountain biking. You get a little taste of that. Like if you're hiking around an area that you know fairly well and you're just not on the road, you're like, oh, this is what it looks like in these hills. This is what it feels like to move across the same space, but slower. I think something like that is great. I mean, I would love to do that in California. It would be especially cool to have an east-west one here. And for all I know, we do, where it's like,
and we might,
it starts in San Francisco and ends at Yosemite, like that would be amazing. Right. You'd burn to death or freeze to death in the valley, depending on when you went. And you die of boredom in the valley. But that would be awesome. I mean, what a great way to see a place. This is great. Every state should have its own through hike across the entire state.
That's actually, there's the initiative, right? Because I think that's at this point in my life, like I put in our outline, would you rather do like a long trail through hike or something like this? And for me, it's something like this because of that. Like I'd be interested to know more. Like Texas is kind of, especially to someone living in California, kind of a divisive state. There's a lot of opinions about Texas. Like that'd be interesting to kind of pass through small towns while also getting to hike and do the nature and backcountry aspect of it, but to kind of learn a little bit something about some place that I don't know much about. Or to your point about doing it here, I just think, I hope this goes through. I hope they're able to develop this because that sounds like I think a really interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this is probably, who's going to do it? I mean, you can. It's not like you couldn't do this anyway, but presumably it will go through private land, and you have to deal with that. It's probably a lot of that in Texas. That could be a huge issue. But yeah, I think every state that should be some congressperson's thing. Like every state gets a through trail.
This episode of The Rock Fight is brought to you by the Great Malden Outdoors, an outdoor enablement campaign in the city of Malden, Massachusetts. For far too long, the outdoor industry has struggled with how to address the topics of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the Great Malden Outdoors is providing concrete action that outdoor brands and retailers can take to make a real difference. Situated just outside of Boston, Malden, Massachusetts is culturally diverse with an abundance of outdoor recreational opportunities, and they're seeking the assistance of outdoor brands and retailers. If you work at an outdoor brand or at a retail shop, they're looking for donations, looking for your product, maybe your time, definitely some of your money. Head to thegreatmaldenOutdoors.com and click contact to reach out and start a partnership today. All right, it's time for the parting shot.
It's time to end, it's time to leave this place that time forgot. Let's take our rock and head on home. It's time for our parting shot.
So, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay.
Fire away.
So, my parting shot today is for people in their 30s. All right, I just turned 49. I'm on my children are very happy to remind me every day I'm almost 50. And I'm really tired of listening to people in their 30s, and I speak from reflection on myself in my 30s, but most people out there who are offering advice, whether it's parenting advice, lifestyle advice, health advice, they seem to be in their 30s and think they know enough or they've acquired some wisdom over the course of their life to offer it to other folks, but you really don't have things figured out yet in your 30s. You feel like you do because it's the first decade where you actually have some real life knowledge that's coming out of your 20s. When you're 20s, I think you might actually be dumber in your 20s than you probably were when you were like a teenager. Teenager just didn't know any better. That's for sure true. Right?
That's for sure true.
You have like arrogant knowledge in your 20s. You think you really know stuff and you know nothing. And the 30s are only slightly better because you haven't really had to deal with things yet, like health issues or make any really hard parenting decisions yet. You may think that your dog is going to live forever still at that point. It's not. Spoiler warning, sorry. And if you're fit and you're offering exercise advice, you probably have always been fit. So I think the most dangerous part about being in your 30s is you really do think you have it figured out because you can look back on your 20s and know that you're smarter than you were then, but then what you do is you find out when you get to your 40s, you didn't really know a whole lot in your 30s either. So to people in your 30s, I would tell you to settle down, but you're not going to listen to me. And that's why my parting shot is for you. I'll go back to my couch now as the old man.
I mean, who doesn't realize every year that, like, you know, we need to venerate older people a lot more in this country because, you know.
At this point, through my 40s, now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, God, man, I'm just going to be even better in my 50s, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So. We've already done spoilers, but we haven't done sports spoilers. And Colin, you know how I feel about this. Here's the thing, folks. It's 2024. Not everybody's watching stuff at the same time anymore. And so, you know, there's especially those of us with kids or those of us who pay for these insane streaming services that will only let you watch sports after they're over because of, you know, FCC rules or whoever the hell decides this sort of thing. So, you know, when you send a little text that's like, holy shit, are you watching this Rams game? That might seem innocuous to you, but that tells me that something amazing is happening and that, like, it's going to color me watching it later by myself because now I'm going to be like fast forwarding for some crazy shit to happen or whatever. Not that this has happened to me recently, but especially I
just wanted to share it with you.
Especially the baseball playoffs, you know, like you just don't know. You don't know what sports mean to people in your life. You don't know, and so like it might not mean much to you, or it might just be like a kind of a casual thing. You're like, oh, my friend's a Dodger fan. I'll just check in. Just don't. If it's playoffs season or even just the NFL, I don't know what to tell you, but you have to just pretend like every movie every game is like a brand new movie that everyone wants to see, and you don't know if they've seen it yet. That's just how, unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to do for a while with sports until we figure something out. Maybe we can have a setup on our phone that says, Justin has watched the Rams and the Dodgers today, and then you can text me whatever you want. But just you never. There's nothing worse than when you're like, I cannot wait till my kids go to bed. I'm going to open a beer. I'm going to sit down and watch this Rams game, and everything's going to be great. And you get a text, and it's just like, wow, Stafford shit the bed today, and you're just like
I did not say that.
No, you didn't. But like, you know, you've been looking forward to this all day. Or like if you forget to turn like notifications off, and NBC decides to tell you for some reason that the Dodgers won, you're just like, even if it's good, you're still just like, fuck, like I just wanted to watch this with suspense. So, no sports spoilers, please.
I have a tough time doing the rewatch, like the not watching and then watching it from scratch later on. If it's already over, I want to know the outcome, and then I might watch it anyway. But I have a tough time just like going into a cold like 3 hours later. But I hear what you're saying. Now, in my defense, I will say this might have been the two most exciting Rams games you're going to get all season, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you probably won't hear from me the rest of the way.
Okay, very great. So. Until they go on like a weird like 8-2 run, just to like so I have to pay attention.
Well. The Niners did lose
I saw that.
to the freaking Cardinals yesterday.
I saw that.
But all right, that parting shot was for me. I appreciate it. I'll do better. I'll do better. So, all right, we're gonna wrap it up there. The Rock Fight's production of Rock Fight LLC. For Justin Hausman, I'm Colin Thru. Thanks for listening, and here he is to take us out. It's Chris DeMakes. He's gonna sing the Rock Fight song. We'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock Fight!